Story 1. 2. 5K. Nuclear Revenge. Posted by you, the man with two poo brains. 5 days ago. Food thieves at uni got lesions from my food. Please LMK if this breaks rule number 3. I was reminded of this by a post somewhere else where someone asked if they could legally put laxative in their coffee creamer at work because it was being stolen. The answer was no BTW. Closing parenthesis. In first year at uni somewhere in the west of England, I lived in a large Georgian student house which had 23 post-grads living in it, all lads. We had 3 kitchens. But some people would raid other fridges. And I was sick of people stealing my food. In microbiology we were doing some experiments with an orthopox virus. Think of it as a much less severe version of cowpox, harmless enough they'd let first-year students use it with only masks, gloves and glasses. Anyway, one of my lab partners didn't use sterile technique on her inoculating lube particularly well and ended up with a blister on her lips. She used to heat it too quickly and create an aerosol. Closing parenthesis. Eventually I was fed up with the thievery and took a little sample of said virus and added it to a block of cheese. A couple of days later, the 2 perps also had a couple of blister-type lesions around their mouths which lasted a few days and meant they didn't want to go out. They had an inkling it was me. But I made some cheese on toast in front of them, while ensuring I wasn't cross-contaminating. So came away unscathed. The cheese gets hot enough to denature the virus. My food was never touched again. But I often think how risky this was. 158 comments. Award. Share. Save. If you're enjoying this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on. Story 2. $2. 1K. Nuclear Revenge. Posted by you, GG Dabs. 26 days ago. Steal the money I need to live. You can spend it on damages. Sorry not sorry. This will be brief and not include identifying info. Mods can verify if they need to. I have most interactions on video. I moved out almost a year ago and before I did my mother stole $750 from me. That money took me over 6 months to save. That was almost everything I saved to leave and to support myself because I was cutting all contact and planned to be on my own. My parents are extremely abusive in every sense of the word, verbal, physically, emotionally, as well as sexually. She knew this and wanted to maliciously sabotage me in any way she could. I say maliciously because she did not want the best for me. She wanted me to continue to be dependent on her so she could abuse me. Both her and Mr. Father took pleasure in abusing me in every way. Fast forward to a day before I moved out. I cut the wires to my TV and all lights in the room. I also poured rotten juice into the carpet, 2x 3 foot areas, and into the dressers and let that sit. I cut the cable box as well. I also left some fish in the vent in my room. When I moved out I said nothing. Left no forwarding address and cut all contact. My thoughts were you can use the $750 you stole from me to fix it. My parents are by no means poor. My mother inherited over $1 million from her mother and my father inherited over $500K from his mother. They are extremely well off. I also paid rent to them $700 a month. They didn't need the money they stole from me. It was a spiteful, malicious act. 145 comments. Award. Share. Save. If you're enjoying this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on. Story 3. $2. 0K. Nuclear Revenge. Posted by you, unlikely_win_revenge. 1 month ago. 2. World's nicest guy gets revenge on cheating ex-fiancé by living his best life. This is about a buddy of mine. The most decent guy you could ever be lucky enough to call a friend. and how he got nuclear revenge on his cheating ex-fiancée who dumped him for his best friend. All the while still being the most upstanding, greatest guy you can imagine. I've pieced this story together from things my friend and his wife have told me over the decade that we've been friends. There's not enough room to tell you how great this guy is. But believe me, H has been there for me like a rock when things were darkest. Cast of characters. Let's call my friend Buddy, the ex-fiancée Lisa, and the hapless best friend, Richard, aka Dick. As you read this story, you have to always remember that Buddy is literally the greatest guy on the planet. Dick is, well, kind of a dick. Annoying as hell. But my buddy says he always means well. And his heart is in the right place. Lisa is as big of a cheating, lying, self-centered narcissist as ever walked the face of the earth. Other people are Ray, another high school friend of Buddy and Dick, Jen, Buddy's wife, and Bob and Linda, Dick's dad and mom. All the names are fake. The background. Our story begins when Buddy, Dick, and Lisa are all in middle school together at a typical suburban high school outside of Southern City. Football team, Friday night lights, etc. The three of them are all in marching band. Inseparable friends. If you know band types. Buddy plays the French horn. Dick plays the tuba. IDK what Lisa played. Probably the flute because it's a cliché. Buddy and Lisa are boyfriend, girlfriend. And Dick is a happy third wheel. As they get older, Buddy and Lisa explore the physical side of their relationship, like normal high school kids do. While Dick is happy to be a player. H is decent looking, so he has no problem getting action. And also occasionally makes use of the professional women in their town. This will be important later. Buddy and Lisa, typical good students, go on to prestigious public university in Southern City. Dick drops out of high school, but, a self-taught programmer, winds up with a decent career in tech. Buddy graduates college early with honors, and proposes to Lisa at his graduation dinner, with a small diamond because H has put himself through school and that's all he can afford. She accepts. Buddy gets a job at fancy consulting firm in prestigious city. Lisa finishes college back home in Southern City. Comes time for Lisa to graduate. Buddy helps his fiancée also get a job at fancy consulting firm. During her last spring break, she flies up to prestigious city to visit Buddy and interview for her job. Gets pregnant. Flies back home. Tells Dick shushes, in trouble. He takes her to the abortion appointment. Neither of them tell Buddy. Ever. I heard about this from Buddy's wife, who heard it from Dick one night when he was drunk. AFAIK Buddy still doesn't know. Buddy, if you ever read this, sorry dude. I should have told you but it wasn't my place. The betrayal. Lisa realizes, when she doesn't want to tell Buddy about her abortion, that she can't marry him. But Shush is not brave enough to break it off. Instead, she ghosts him and he finds out through the HR department of fancy consulting firm that Shush has turned down her job offer and won't be moving to prestigious city after all. Buddy calls Dick and Dick says, "Dude, I'm sorry, but it's worse. Lisa and I are now a couple. You can punch me in the face next time we get together." Somehow, Buddy and Dick decide that Lisa isn't worth destroying their friendship. So they stay best friends, going hunting together on Dick's family place in the country, etc. Lisa is not happy about this, but Dick tells her that if she makes him choose, he'll choose Buddy. The follow-up. Buddy takes a year or so to get over it, and starts dating again. Pretty soon, he meets Jen and falls madly in love. Crazy in love. And to make things better, Jen is just as crazy about him. In less than 6 months, they're engaged. Now, The thing you have to understand is that Lisa is drop-dead gorgeous. Shusha's not tall enough to be a model. Just average height. But Shusha's got these giant blue eyes and super long eyelashes. Long, shiny wavy dark brown hair. An exquisite face. And a terrific figure. Shusha's prettier than a movie star. And being beautiful is really important to her. Jen is pretty enough. But regular. And she really and truly DGAF. Dick travels to prestigious city. Without Lisa. To meet Buddy's fiancé. He and Jen really get along. Jen gets along with everyone. And reports back to Lisa that Buddy is really happy. His fiancée Jen is awesome. Etc. Lisa gets jealous and pouty when she hears about Jen's Ivy League education, but then Dick makes a point of telling her that Jen is nowhere near as hot as Lisa. So she'll stop sulking. At least until she gets an invitation to the wedding. Lisa pitches a fit. Refuses to go. And tries to prevent Dick from going. But there's no way in hell he'll miss his best friend's wedding. So he goes stag. NBD. It's a super small, low-key wedding. At the wedding, Dick reconnects with another high school friends of theirs. A guy named Ray, whose date to the wedding was actually someone else's wife. Ray has a thing for married women. This is important. Buddy and Jen go on living their best lives. At some point, Buddy gets an Ivy League MBA. His career takes off like gangbusters. They pop out a couple of kids. Jen quits her career to be a SAHM. They're rich as hell. Still crazy in love. And blissfully happy. A couple of times a year. The guys get together and bring their wives along. At some point, Dick and Lisa get married. Buddy and Jen are not invited to the wedding. By the way. But the women get along okay. Jen gets along with everyone and Lisa is happy because Shusha's thinner and prettier than Jen. Especially after both women have been through pregnancy and childbirth. The years tick on. Things get complicated. One day. This is around 2008. When Buddy, Jen, and Dick are all playing WoW together. Dick gets them on TeamSpeak and tells a hell of a story. Dick and Lisa have continued to hang out with Ray, their high school friend who has a thing for married women. H has turned his eye on Lisa, who, even after 3 kids, is even hotter than she was in college. Shush has leaned heavily into the MILF role. Meanwhile, Dick has had enough of her nonsense. H has decided to divorce her 3 times. But each time, when he tells her, she cries and gets all pouty. They have, one last time, unprotected sex. She gets pregnant. And bam. Dick and Lisa's 3 kids. Ray goes in hard with his practiced seduction routine. And Lisa cries to Dick that she just can't stand it. And can she please just have sex with Ray? They do. Dick watches. Goes in for sloppy seconds. And Lisa and Dick's marriage enters its suburban swinger era. Dick gives Jen and Buddy every gory detail over the course of a 2-hour conversation, while they're all killing wolves on low-level alts in Elwyn Forest and Lisa is upstairs with a bottle of wine. It's obvious, during their next visit, that Dick wants to join in sexy fun times with Buddy and Jen. But they're not into that. And after an awkward 5 minutes, things go back to normal. The kids all play together. The women make small talk. And Buddy and Dick hang out together doing the normal things that guys do. Dick tells Buddy that the reason they're into swinging is that he gets off on watching Lisa being degraded. And Lisa gets off on making Dick feel like he isn't man enough for her. This marriage is not happy. But Dick wants to stay married. Because Lisa is hot as hell. Shush has got a solid career. And H is a mid-level tech guy with a GED who works from home while he takes care of 3 kids. So he'll never be able to do better. Things get worse. Dick calls Buddy to chat. His marriage has gone to hell. Lisa has, in her words, met the love of her life. Shush has moved on from Ray and from the swinging scene and is now having an affair with a guy from the accounting department at her job. Shush is staying out all night. Shush is ignoring the kids. Dick and Lisa take the kids on a swank vacation to try to focus on their family and spends all her time crying because she misses her app and she doesn't want to be there. She doesn't want a divorce because she knows she'll lose the kids. Shush is drunk all the time. And she doesn't want to have to pay Dick child support. She wants him to let her live whatever life she wants while he does all the cooking and cleaning and childcare. And still brings in 50% of the household money. Lisa also will not STFU about how she could have married Buddy and been like Jen. Her SAHM in a giant 5,000 square foot house with 6 bedrooms and a pool. I should mention that Buddy has also had a Neville Longbottom style glow up and gone from a nerdy band kid to a silver-haired super confident high-level executive in a top-tier consulting firm. Whereas Dick is still the guy working from his basement in sweatpants, covered in Dorito crumbs. He has been working on himself. But there's no way he can compete in Lisa's eyes. Although both Buddy and Jen tell me about Dick's great qualities, Lisa is jealous, hopping mad, and she blames Dick. Dude, trust me, I know. She is bad news. Leave her. Buddy tells his friend. It is the last conversation they will ever have. Holy at $% carrot, this is terrible. Buddy gets a call at work one afternoon. It's Bob, Dick's dad. Dick got drunk. Woke up Lisa at 3:00 a.m. Told her that he'd never loved her. That she'd never been enough of a woman for him. That he'd been visiting prostitutes during most of their marriage. And that he hoped she would go to hell. Then, he blew his brains out in such a way that the splatter went all over her and all over the bed. When the ambulance got there, she was hysterical, sitting on the curb outside the house, screaming over and over again, "Kill me too. It's all my fault. It's all my fault." Later, Bob would call Buddy to tell him that Lisa specifically says he is not welcome at the funeral. Bob and Linda, Dick's parents, step in to take care of the 3 little kids, who did nothing wrong and do not deserve this, while Lisa does nothing but work and drink. The coup de grace. About a year later, Buddy flies to Southern City to put flowers on Dick's grave and visit with Dick's parents. Bob and Linda. Bob is still in shock. But he and Linda have taken Lisa in as a daughter. Lisa's mom is dead and Shush's NC with her dad and stepmom, to try and help her through this as much as they can. Why did Lisa say it was all her fault? And why did she ban you from the funeral? Bob asks Buddy. What don't I know? What's the rest of the story? Why did Dick do it? Quote. The moment of ultimate revenge. Buddy thinks for a minute, and decides that it will help Bob and Linda to understand the tragedy that happened to their son if they know the full story. So he tells them everything. Bob and Linda have continued to do everything for the 3 kids. And they continue to treat Lisa well, because that is best for the children. But the clock is ticking. Lisa's remarried now. When the kids are old enough, Bob and Linda will tell them the whole story. The youngest kid will be 18 soon. Buddy is still grieving over his friend. Summary. What did Buddy do to get revenge on his cheating ex-fiancée? Stayed friends with the guy who stole her, letting her know how important she was to him versus the friendship. Moved on and married someone smarter, nicer, and less pretty, letting her know how important her best quality only good thing about her was to him. Had a hell of a successful career, causing her much jealous anguish. Had a massive glow-up between 30 and 40, causing her much jealous anguish. Had a terrific marriage, causing her much jealous anguish and also letting her know that the problem in their relationship was not him. Respected her boundaries when she uninvited him to his best friend's funeral. causing best friend's dad to ask the fateful question that IMO ticks this over from karma to nuclear. Proof that living well is indeed the best revenge. Sucks about Dick, though. Buddy says he was the kind of guy who would come to your house when all hell broke loose, clean your fridge and make a 5-star dinner with whatever he could find. Nuclear vengeance wasn't worth the cost. I wish I had known him. 127 comments. Award. Share. Save. If you're enjoying this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on. Story 4. $654. Nuclear Revenge. Posted by specialist_impact_32. 1 month ago. Harass my sweet little sister. Fine. I will get you evicted. ... Or worse. I'm not proud of this. January 2021. I, 30F, moved my camper van, mobile home closer to my sister's, 26F, flat, to help her recover after a stay in hospital. She had been struggling and was not happy in life. So my goal was to care for her and raise her spirits, while helping her organize and stabilize her life. I was shocked when on my first night there, I was woken at 4 a.m. by enraged screaming from her downstairs neighbor. The woman downstairs was mid-fight with her fella, and I distinctly heard a plate being thrown. I was shocked by how loud they were being, for it to be audible from outside their flat. It was very unsettling for both myself and my sister, as my sister and I have a lot of PTSD from growing up in an abusive household. In the morning I asked my sister about it, and she said that was normal, and that you can't say anything to them about it, or they will start on you. She goes on to explain that one time she had left a note, asking them to keep it down, and the fella had come outside and banged loudly on her front door, trying to fight her. Bear in mind that this guy is 40 plus balding, 6 feet plus drunk, and she is a tiny thin 4 feet 11 lass with autism. This pissed me off big time, but not nearly as much as when sister admitted that one time she had been crying to herself in her flat, and the downstairs neighbor decided to call the police on her for it as revenge for asking them to keep it down. Naturally, I was completely done at this point. So like any good admin lady, I got to work. I opened a complaint with the housing association and logged every incident of violent drunken behavior that took place. They, as expected, were reluctant to do anything at all, and told me to just call the police if it got bad. I remember thinking to myself, PFFFT. I can't see us needing the police. ... But I was wrong. Some nights their fighting was so intense I had to anonymously call 101 and report the DV. For her own safety. This, and the letters that started arriving from the housing association put me on their radar. And soon things got worse. They were in trouble for the noise, the state of their flat, fly tipping rubbish on the corner, an out-of-control dog that attacked my cat, threatening me, threatening sister, spitting on her door, trying to steal her cat, trying to run over my cat, banging on the door and making threats, playing loud music to keep sister awake on college nights, and so much more. The police started being called a lot, and it was getting so stressful. I was starting to regret making that first complaint. But the rest of the neighbors were on our side, as it affected them just as much. I felt supported by them, and decided to just keep pushing and demanding a solution. I knew eventually the council, housing association would cave in and either rehouse my sister, or, better yet, rehouse the neighbor. By autumn 2022 things had reached boiling point. I installed a Ring doorbell in January 2022 for parcel deliveries. But it ended up being the silver bullet that took the crazy woman down. A multi-agency meeting took place over Teams, and they finally upped the pressure on the neighbor after I presented my evidence to them. I remember crying after that meeting, as I left it feeling that they didn't think we had enough to push for an eviction. I was even criticized for having not called the police enough to support my harassment claim. But I gave them my flash drive full of reports anyway, and hoped they would at least look at them. Not all was lost though. The neighbor's fella was told not to attend the property again, and the hope was to distance them, so she could get her life together. She had been given multiple welfare meetings to try and turn her behavior around, and they tried to support her by offering ways to dry out and pick her life up. They really tried to peacefully resolve the situation, and we were even asked to make some adjustments to help her see that we didn't despise her, and our reporting wasn't malicious. We just felt unsafe and she was being loud, messy and a nightmare neighbor. But this woman just didn't care. She continued to let her partner back at the flat, and they inevitably fought. The police were called twice in a 24 hours period, and I wasn't even the one to call. The shouting was so bad. Another neighbor called them. After the police left on the second time, she took a small bag of stuff and left. Then, silence. Days went by and nobody saw or heard from either of them. After a week, I still waited with bated breath for the return of the crazy and all of her bullshit. But it never came. And now it never will. By week 3 we had started to relax, assuming she had finally gone to rehab or was drying out somewhere safe. Nobody on the street knew where she had gone, and it was uncommonly calm on the block. And then, I get the first call. Friday. It's the police, informing me that they have reviewed the mountain of evidence I provided and they're keen to go for a harassment charge all of a sudden. Now anyone who has endured harassment will tell you how flipping hard it is to prove. So I was happy we were finally being listened to. I was even praised for how detailed and professional the reports were. Hence why I should have put this in NuclearRevenge. But wait. It's not over yet. We know full well that the housing association needed the harassment charge to get her removed from the property. So without even being told, we knew what was coming next. She would likely be told she is being evicted, and our problems would all soon be over. Monday. I get a call telling me a flat is available on the block if I'm interested. They know my situation and living outside in a transit van isn't ideal. Im sent the paperwork to apply and it fill it in. Im at this point feeling bad. If Im housed in her flat, I'd feel guilty for having been the force behind her removal. Yeah, I know. It's her own fault. But you can surely understand why I would feel so weird about it. So imagine how we felt when this happened. Closing parenthesis. Tuesday. Email from the lovely chap at the housing association, asking if we had heard about neighbor. I misunderstood the email and thought they had asked if we had heard from her. And I email back explaining nobody had seen her in nearly a month. He replies, Adult Services reported to us this morning that neighbor had passed away last night. I start bawling. I cry. What have I done? That woman drove us absolutely mad. And she was a horrible person. But she did not deserve to die. I'd wished for the day when I'd say her being evicted. I had joked about sitting outside with a beer on the lawn. But not once had I considered she might die. While I'm not currently aware of how she passed away, I do know that on the Monday she'd been in a meeting with social services, police and the housing association. They likely told her about the charge and her inevitable eviction. She and her scruffy fella seemed to have gone out and just took too much. I don't think it was suicide, as the officer we had been dealing with came round on the Wednesday to tell us he was naturally dropping the charges. I expressed guilt and he told me it was inevitable when that much drugs and alcohol are involved. I'm heartbroken. I know it's not the case. But it feels like this is my fault. I never thought for 1 second a woman as selfish and blind to the impact she had would let this happen to her. We have left flowers by her door. And for the first few nights after she passed I lit candles for her. I'm sad that she never took the help offered. Because if she had stayed away from her fella and tried to slow down on the drink and drugs, she might have had a chance. Ultimately, I feel this is nuclear revenge. As rather than getting my sister's crazy neighbor evicted, I got her killed. And I feel terrible. 74 comments. Award. Share. Sava, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and turn notifications on.